This podcast is recorded at the Zone Gym studio.
You're listening to the Raw Reality Podcast hosted by Tori and Fit with Lily. This episode is sponsored by FODBODS. Use code RAW15 for 15% off all products at fodbods.com. Good morning. Washy.
I was like, where are you going with this? Guys,
Hello.
I've missed you.
Oh, yes.
I feel like now, in between every single episode, I'm like, there's so much to speak about.
So much.
Which makes me so excited. So every time we do an update, there's a lot to catch up on.
Yeah, like it's like every episode with a Raw Reality update, it's going to be a lot.
Yeah.
Considering we're in state again.
Yeah, so lock yourselves in, basically.
Yeah,
we've got some shit to talk about.
Yeah, this is a full update episode, all the things.
Basically, what you guys love the most is listening to our lives.
Yeah, pretty much. Okay, where does one begin?
Well, last time we spoke...
Sorry, did you just see Katie's message?
No, I'm on private. Do not disturb.
Sorry, I thought I was too, but I'm not. It said, meet you at the Windjammer in 10 minutes.
Stop.
Okay, we're going to get into that and it'll make so much sense later.
The last time we spoke, you were still living in here.
Gosh.
No, you'd just been back.
I'd done a week.
You'd done a week. You'd done a week.
So now I've done 2 weeks, well, 3 all up. Life in Melbourne is really good. I've been absolutely blessed with the weather. Like, I never thought I'd leave sunny Melbourne for rainy Gold Coast. So there's that. But honestly, like, my life is pretty, repetitive in Melbourne. It's literally the same thing every day, like working during the day, training at night. Like, there's not much else to it. I'm not... I feel like my life on the Gold Coast, like every day is different. Whereas in Melbourne, it's not. It's like the same, which is kind of nice. I feel like when I'm in Melbourne, I'm focusing on work and training. And then when I come to the Gold Coast, it's like everything.
Yeah.
But training is going really, really well. We have our first comp as of you're listening to this in real time in 2 weeks. Slay. So getting
in
really
Canberra?
nervous. Yes, it's in Canberra at the AIS. Getting nervous, but equally like obviously so excited. We will probably have a pretty heavy 2 weeks.
I was going to say, how many full outs have you done? Do you call them full out or is that just
we
cheer?
don't call them full out, but
what do you
I know
call
what
them?
mean. Just routine.
Okay.
Yeah. Because obviously like I've been there for 2 weeks or 3 weeks. It's been like we've been doing full outs, but we kind of sometimes have a pause before a certain skill because we're still building stamina.
Right, yeah.
And obviously safety comes first. Our balance routine is done. Like we can do that full out, no stops, no pauses. Dynamic and combined, there's still a bit of pauses just because our skills are quite big. So it's like just making sure.
And like a lot more like hectic go.
Yes. Yeah. It's been really, really good. I am monitoring kind of an injury. I have like a pinched nerve in my shoulder blade. I've kind of always struggled with my shoulder blades and I've never had like this much of an issue with it, but I'm glad that it's that and not anything else.
Yeah.
I have had 2 shoulder surgeries on my left shoulder, so I just am very mindful of that. But obviously doing all things like acupuncture, physio, trigger ball, like doing everything. As soon as I land back in Melbourne, I've got physio on the Monday, so I'm just like staying on top of it. I've had acupuncture whilst I've been here. My acupuncture yesterday, I walked in and she was like, so like, how are we? And I was like, shins, shoulder blades, shoulders. And she was just like feeling my body. And she was like, holy fuck, like you're strong, but like you're so strong at the moment. You're so tight. The cups were falling off because she's like, you've just like leaned up quite a bit. And I was like, that's so interesting. But yeah, I feel like this week that we just had off because of the cruise was good. But equally we trained and then I've been so fucking sore from our training session. The next 2 weeks will be somewhat, pretty hectic leading into the first comp and then it'll cool down a little bit, but then we have like a new routine to learn. So
exactly.
It just goes on.
Well, I'm not sick anymore because last time I think we did 3 podcasts. I sounded horrible in all 3 because we did them back to back and I was a lot more sick than I feel like I actually like realized. My sinuses, I would say I had a sinus infection.
Yeah.
It was horrible, like so bad, but I'm better now. We came out on the other side and then Cyclone Alfred decided to hit.
Yeah.
Before I go into Cyclone Alfred, there were snakes because I'm going to go in order.
Oh, yeah.
There's snakes in our house through our house.
Or like they're like in the backyard.
Yeah.
Because we live on like
but
a
like
reserve.
probably in the house too because let's be realistic.
I'm
like,
second guessing extending the lease because I'm like, and even last night, like Ziggy was out in the backyard. He went out for a week, but then he was gone for ages. And I was like, okay, I need to go check. He was out there with a frog, could have been a toad. Can't tell the difference.
Cane toad, yeah.
Yeah. And they're poisonous.
Yeah.
And I was just like, for fuck's sake, like it's just shit with a dog that I don't want to worry about, like snakes and cane toads. And I'm just like, I don't know about this, but anyway.
Well, so I get home and all of a sudden I'm like outside letting Ziggy pee again and he's gone fucking so weird. And I'm like, what? Like literally, what are you doing? Go pee. And he's just staring at the wall and I look over and there's a long freaking green tree snake. And green tree snakes aren't poisonous, but I don't fucking care. Like I do not care. It's still terrifying. And then anyways, I'm like, what do? I run inside and then this snake is like slithering like up the wall a little bit and like trying to find a hole to like kind of like go away. And this like tree snake is huge, like bigger than the one that we got from like inside originally.
It looks massive and like a bit thicker. And
I felt so uncomfortable. And then anyways, it kind of like came a little bit like closer towards me and like lifted up his full chest and I was like, fuck this. So I called the snake catcher people that we have their
number on the fridge.
The number stuck on our fridge. And I called them, but while I'm calling them, the snake is like going in a hole. And if you saw my story, I do not know how it crawled through this tiny little crack in our house.
It's like my bedroom window. There's like obviously bricks on the outside. And then between the bricks, there's like little holes. And he went in the hole, which looked like he was like going into the room, but it's like in the house.
It's basically like pretend there's like a wall and the bricks and there's a tiny little like gap in between that.
Yeah, he was in that gap.
And he was in that gap. And I saw him completely go in. And I do not know how they shrink themselves so small. So I called snake catcher and he was like, you're not going to like what I'm about to say, but there is nothing I can do until that snake comes out. It's like you're stuck in the wall. Like there's literally nothing I can do. And I was like, you know what? Fair. So I was just like, I knew that our backyard goes onto a reserve. So like I know there's snakes. I'm like, whatever. I'm just going to go to a cafe and bring you Ziggy because he's not staying outside right now. Or like provincially like this snake could get inside at this point. So and then I came back and I was just kind of like, I don't know why, but I had a gut feeling that the snake was out again. So I went into your room and I could see him like on your back porch and I was like, what the fuck? Go around to the front and this snake is on a mission. It's like slithering back around to the like backyard and it's trying to find holes again. But the thing was, if I called the snake catcher and he came out and this snake has gone back in the wall, I still have to pay him. Like he's come out.
Yeah.
So I was like trying to make a decision. I was like, you know what? I'm just going to call him and if I have to pay the call out fee, whatever, at least I like kind of know that I tried. So I call him, he's like, I'm 10 minutes away. Like, I'll do my best to get there. And I'm doing everything I possibly can to not let the snake go in a hole. So quickly, the snake was on the other side of the backyard. And I'm like trying to cover all the holes in the walls with like a towel, a Birkenstock. Then I have the clothesline and it's coming like towards our like back door to walk outside. And I'm like shaking it because if it goes behind the sauna and there's lots of holes there, like I couldn't do anything. I'm shaking this full on like clothes dryer rack and so it's scared.
I wish you filmed this.
Oh, I was trying so hard, but I was like equally terrified. My phone was on 2% and I'm on the phone to the snake catcher. And I'm like shaking it. And anyway, it kind of got a little bit scared and thank God I covered a certain hole with a Birk because it tried to go in there. And then 2 minutes before snake catcher gets here, it goes behind the sauna. And I was like, game over. I can't move this sauna. And I was so annoyed because I did like my best because he's gone up our walls as well. Like when I tell you like it's gone above the windowsill and then come back down, I do not know how a snake can climb a vertical wall. Like beyond me. Then he gets here, he runs inside because classic, he's been to our house before. And he's like, where's the snake? And I'm like, it's gone behind the sauna. He's like, don't worry. Runs outside, leans over our ice bath, sees the tail, grabs it and goes, got it. Like I'm talking 0.2 seconds he's in my house before he gets this bloody snake. And he goes, oh, it's quite a big one, isn't he? Puts it around his neck and goes, can you take a photo? I've caught 4 this morning and forgot because it's been chaotic. I'm like, yeah. Like this guy was crazy snake catcher.
Yeah, he's so funny.
So anyways, the snake is gone. That was fine. The next day I come, I'm putting water because we have a fridge in our garage and I'm like putting water and food in there and I hear a slither. And I looked to my left and I thought it was a lizard because it was like so small. I realized it's a fucking snake again, but a baby snake that's gone behind our fridge. And then I get Jackson and there's nothing we can do because it's gone into the cables in the back of the fridge. There's like a little like inlet and we're not fucking getting that. So we've left it. So we know we have snakes throughout our house. There's a baby snake, which means it's other baby snakes because when a mum has a baby, they have multiple. So yeah.
So every time I'm like, cool, Ziggy's at home by himself.
But it's a green tree snake and they're scared of each other.
Yeah, but it's more just like if like a snake wraps around his neck, he's gone.
I didn't really think of that.
Yeah.
He's fine. A snake is not purposely going to Ziggy and be like, oh, a tiny little creature. I'm going to kill him.
You don't know what a fucking snake's going to do.
No, it's a green tree snake. They're terrified. They want to just be in their own little corner.
They better be.
Anyways,
that's
my story.
Yeah. So probably won't extend the lease on this one.
No, every time I go to the toilet, I lift up the lid because I'm terrified there's a snake under there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's disgusting.
Yeah. Anyways.
Life of an Aussie, actually.
Yeah.
Reverting back to Melbourne.
Yep.
I've done up my room. My room looks so good. I still want to get a rug just to make it a bit more like warm. Whilst I've been away, my new couch has arrived because my room is literally so big. I have a couch in there. So that's going to be set up. And then I have a desk that I need to set up. And then once that's done and I get my rug, my room is complete and I am so excited. It's just like so cozy and like so nice. And then we've just ordered a new bed for our room in the Gold Coast.
Oh, is that for the Gold Coast?
Yeah. Because our bed's like literally about to snap.
Right.
So very excited about that and probably another mattress just to add to the mix. Anyway.
So does that mean I can take one mattress with me?
Yeah, you actually could.
Thanks so
much. And then what was I going to say? I already said injury management and like just trying to stay on top of my recovery, but it's really just I miss having a sauna at my house with an ice bath. So I think I'm going to have one this afternoon. We've got recovery tomorrow. But it's just like making sure I stay on top of it in Melbourne because like at the end of the day, sleep, nutrition and recovery is going to be the 3 things that get me through the year of training. So it's just like staying on top of that. And I got my period. Woo! Round of applause. I was like kind of concerned and I had a lot of questions regarding that. Obviously like my training's increased. I've been very mindful of like increasing my food as my training has increased, and just making sure that I'm like fueling and like obviously my hunger levels have increased as well. And it got to like day like 45 and I was like, I just don't know. And I was like, just let it go. Like I'm doing what I can and making sure I'm eating. I had like reordered my new batch of supplements, which I just picked up. And then I never know when my period's coming. Like it can be like 20 days, 60 days, 70 days, whatever. And I just was like, it's not coming. Like I had no signs. And then it was a Friday morning. I was wearing like white shorts. I went to hot Pilates, dropped the kids at school and then went to the grocery store, came home, went to the toilet and like was bleeding. And I was like, holy fuck. And there was like blood on like my shorts, but luckily like very, very minimal. Yeah. Like no one would have seen, but I was just like, holy shit. Like this was my first period where I was like, I didn't know like it was coming. But then like I thought about the week prior and I was like, okay, I did feel a little bit bloated and inflamed, but just kind of was like.
Did you cry the night before too about Ziggy and Jackson? I think you did.
Potentially, yeah.
Which like obviously like is a given anyways, but like heightened emotions.
Yeah. And so I was like, okay, slay, like was so happy about that. And so I got it Friday to, I think it stopped on Tuesday when we were on the boat or something like that. So I was very happy about that.
Also, can I say, being a girl, you're just like, you know what? I'm just not going to wear anything and just like hope nothing happens. Like I just feel like sometimes as a girl.
When I was on the boat?
Yeah, you just wanted to bleed and not wear a pad, not wear a tampon. You just can't be bothered. And you're like, I just want to drip.
I just didn't want to wear a tampon and we're going somewhere. So I was like, I'm not wearing a pad. And then I was just like, fuck this. If it happens, it happens. Whatever. I was just like done with it. I'll just jump in the pool.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was fine. And like day one, usually I'm like bedridden. No, like I was fine. Luckily, I got it on a Friday, which is our day off training. So towards the end of the Friday, I had a few cramps, but like usually it's like literally can't stand up, leg pain so bad. But I just had like a heat pack and I just like chilled out for the Friday, went to recovery, and I was like, wow.
Yeah.
Slay.
So good.
So
I actually got mine last night and mine was 3 days late and like I'm never ever late. But the second I saw Kate, it's like my body like relaxed. It's almost like literally what happened. And I thought we've all had kind of like fuck stomachs this whole week just from being like so out of routine.
Eating so much.
Food that we're not normally used to as well. And then I ended up having homemade pizzas last night.
But still yum.
Yeah, still good. And like it was still like relatively healthy. And also I just thought my stomach was kind of like fucked from that. And then like in my head I was like, nah, this is like something more. And then I went to the toilet and I was like, damn it, I literally just got it. But it's like literally like my body just was like, okay, you're good now.
Yeah. At least you didn't get it on the cruise.
No, it literally, I'm so grateful because like I'm not having fun today.
Yeah.
So I'm so happy.
Yeah. Literally.
So let's go back to Cyclone Alfred because we were in the state for that one. And it was like so much anticipation all week if you were in like the Queensland basically. I kind of found out on like Sunday, Monday, especially Monday morning that it was coming, and the cyclone was predicted to come on the Thursday. So you kind of had the whole week to prepare. No one knew how bad it was going to be or if it was going to be nothing. And like the end of the day, I really don't even think the weather people actually knew because cyclones are so unpredictable. So you were kind of like preparing a little bit. Also, my car went in to get fixed because there was like quite a lot of scratches on it. Slay, I suck at driving. And it was left on Monday. So I didn't have a car as well. And we just had to do like all the basic things. Coincidentally, slay my dad again. He was like, I know this might sound dramatic, but just go get like water. He's like, if you need toilet paper, get it. If you don't, like, don't get it. Like, don't be one of these people, but like, just prepared. And just like a few extra food than you normally would. So that's what I did. Thank God I did because I think I beat the rush by 2 hours. Yeah. Like it was just a normal big grocery shop, but I got everything I needed for a whole week. And then every single day, the weather kind of like slowly got worse and worse. And things started, especially by the Wednesday, things were shut early. Woolly shut, Coal shut. There was no food left freaking anyways. And then we got pretty bad. We woke up at Cade's on Thursday with I think it was Thursday, I believe. Either Thursday or Friday with no power. And I was like, here we go. But then coincidentally, my house still had power. So we're like, see ya, skedaddled over to mine. But the thing with Cade's is they also lost service. And I know this happened to so many people. If you lose, it's one thing to lose power, but losing fucking service as well. You're literally sitting in a house not doing anything. Like hot water's gone too. And there's nothing to do. So you can't even call someone and be like, can you come and get me now? Because you literally cannot. So we were so lucky that we were able to stay at mine for the few days. I know that other people weren't as lucky. Our house was like this tiny little dot out of like thousands and thousands and thousands of houses that had no power. So we were like in the perfect position.
It was like 300,000 homes lost power.
Yep. And we still had it. And I think it was because like our street, it seems like everything was like underground. Like we weren't, I don't know, like all our power lines, electricity, cell service was all underground. I think that's what was really lucky for us. And then, so the cyclone hit, but it got pushed all the way to Saturday because there was like a high pressure system that apparently was quite rare and it was slowing the cyclone down to 2 to 7 kilometers per hour. That moves so slow.
So slow.
And they were actually like, that's kind of going to be worse because it means that it's going to be over the land for longer. Thank God it got downgraded slightly. But we got like, the wind was pretty fucked. Like if we just drove around the streets, like it was kind of scary at some points. And
it's like traffic lights were out, trees were down.
Yeah, there was no traffic lights anywhere.
Roads were flooded.
Yeah, but all businesses were shut for days on end. And then everything kind of like was okay Saturday, Sunday, but then floods started happening because the rain did not stop. And that's when you came as well.
Yeah.
The rain.
Because I was meant to fly in Thursday night after training and then my flight got cancelled and moved to Friday. And then Thursday night at training, my Friday flight got cancelled and moved to Monday. I was like, Monday's not going to cut it because I'm getting on a cruise and I'm getting on that cruise. So then on Saturday at training, I called and got a flight for Sunday because on the Thursday, Friday, they'd cancelled all Friday, Saturday flights. Yeah. And then on the Saturday, they said airport was shut till at least Monday. Yeah. But then because by the time it hit Saturday morning, that they realised that it dropped categories and it wasn't as bad. So they were able to open up airports Sunday.
Yes.
So then I got a flight for Sunday, but I was like, oh my gosh, it was chaos. And I was meant to go to Townsville and then like to run an event and to be in a guest, and it was just like that got cancelled because we didn't want to get stuck in Townsville, and then like you had to go through to Brisbane to get to Townsville from Melbourne. I was just like, this
so risky.
Is chaos. Yeah, and it was so risky. So
and it's like flood roads were like absolutely starting to flood, and it was like all the bridges, the water were basically getting to, and we live in like in the middle of a bunch of canals, and every time we drive over a bridge, the water was higher and higher, covering like backyards. There was like one where a tennis court was gone. Yeah. Like the water was getting really, really high. And again, thank God that we were like completely fine. No one I know got flooded besides actually someone we met on the cruise. Yeah. Her house was completely gone. So again, we were just so lucky. But it was one of those periods where I felt like I needed to be productive. I was like, I have a week. I'm not doing anything. I should be doing so much work. I still have power. Why am I using this as an excuse to like not do anything? But like you're going through a cyclone and it's the most like kind of nerve-wracking thing. Like I was a lot more anxious, and if you know me, like natural disasters terrify me so much. Yep. And I was like, no, I actually am handling it quite well considering And it was just like scary and unknown and nothing was open.
It's unknown because like it was category 1, then it was a category 3, and then it was like, oh my God, and obviously the news dramatized everything and they, even going back and like watching some of the news things, like I was just like, oh my gosh, like make this more dramatic.
Yeah,
and like obviously it's a cyclone, it's terrifying, but they just amplified it so much more and like scared more people than they had to.
Yeah. It was like this big, huge putt thing fell down, like a mini golf course. And of course they had to film in front of that.
Yeah.
That it was just like a weak system. Whereas like a house staying next to it was completely fine.
Yeah.
Like, it was just one of those things. So if you were affected, I'm sending all my love. But God, I've never seen wind so hard in my life or rain go for so long in my life either.
Yeah.
And the beaches,
the beaches are really bad.
So bad. Like, it's normally just kind of like you walk down the stairs and it's like beach for a while, and there was no beach for a while. It was like the beach came up to the road. So the water came up to the road and it's called erosion. So basically like the beach was gone. Like it just dropped down.
It's like it took away like 2 to 3 meters of sand.
Yeah.
Washed away. So then from where you normally walk nicely onto the beach, it's like a 3-meter drop.
Yeah. So as of the past few days, because Cade, you know how Cade FaceTimed us and it was crazy, it's basically fixed. They've had excavators come in and make it so it's like hills instead of just like a drop. And it looks beautiful. Oh my God, they've done so well to fix that.
They would have had to do the whole coastline.
They would have.
The whole coast.
I reckon they would have worked overnight.
Yeah,
100%.
that's crazy.
Yeah. And there was even one thing where they saw a shark in like the canals, and there was also a crocodile, which is crazy.
Wild.
Anyways.
Welcome to Australia. Next thing for me is just a little skin update. Actually, that was another pre-period thing that I didn't think of. I got like 3 breakouts on the left side of my face. It was like one in the middle of my eyes, one under my eye, and then one over there.
Actually, skin looks so good right now.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, this is it. My skin's about to break out. We're back to square one. I'm freaking out, yada, yada, yada. And then a few days later, I got my period and I was like, this is normal. So I had them for like a week and they finally cleared. Then we went on the cruise and like my skin has just cleared up. I was doing my makeup this morning and I was like, wow.
I didn't even think about your skin at all on the cruise. It was really good. Yeah.
Yeah, it was so good. So that just like is so nice. I've got, so with my naturopath, I've been on supplements for the last month, I think. And just as we got back to the Gold Coast, I've picked up another batch. Basically, the protocol we're going to do for about 3 months because I've healed so much gut bacteria that we're kind of just rinsing and repeating the same supplements to just clear it all out. So hopefully this really helps with like the last of my skin, and then I still try and keep on top of my skin appointments for needling for scarring as I come back to the Gold Coast when I can get an appointment. But it's, mostly like breakout here and there, but then just scarring. Yeah. So I'm like, once we can get rid of that scarring,
we're good. Game over for you bitches.
Obviously, Lily and I, as we spoke about, get a lot of parcels like throughout the week. And like our house is like a post office. But now that I live in Melbourne, I've had to like obviously change my address for things. And who I live with, my coaches, or my coach Mel and her husband Nick, Nick will send a photo like every single day that I get a parcel, and it's like, what the fuck have we got now?
Well, especially because they're not like used to it. They're not in that world.
And Mel loves it because she's like, well, now my parcels get hidden within yours, so he doesn't know if they're mine or yours. But it's like daily, if not twice a day. Like, and especially because I've just moved, I got furniture and stuff as well. Like it's been a lot. So I'm like, feel so bad, but there's just fucking parcels coming in and out all the time. Last 2 things, I booked Germany. I'm going to Germany. I'm going to Poland. Really cool because I've never been there before.
To compete.
To compete, yes, in June, July. So slay missing out on some winter. Very happy about that. Getting a bit of a Euro summer in there. We're going to Dubai on the way home as well. But yeah, we leave, like, June's not far away.
Is anyone coming to you with Dubai?
No.
With
Mel.
Yeah, that group.
Yeah, a few. But because like it's like the middle of comm season, so we don't really have time to just stop and like travel. Otherwise, I would for sure. So we're just doing like 4 or 5 days in Dubai on the way home.
Still quite a lot. Like,
I think it's
like a whole cruise.
Yeah, true. It'll be nice to just like chill out, but Dubai's gonna be like 50 degrees.
Yeah.
So I'm like, but it was kind of easiest to do because we're flying through there anyway.
Yeah.
So we'll do that. But then we come straight back and get ready for the next comm. So, but I'm just like so excited too because I know Germany and Poland is very much like Belgium. Like it's like old buildings, historical, and I love that stuff. So I'm very keen to just explore. We're going to like 3 different places in Germany. It's going to be so cool.
Yeah.
And just training at different gyms over there is like my favorite thing ever.
Yeah.
And then my last thing is just like missing Jackson and Ziggy, obviously.
Yeah.
But the thing is, because everyone in Melbourne is like, you're always saying how you miss Ziggy and like not Jackson. Like, obviously I miss Jackson so much, but I can talk to him. I can call him. I can text him at any point of the day. I can't talk to Ziggy.
And you can't tell him what you're doing.
Can't tell him. And me and Beck, on the way home from the cruise, we were literally saying how, like, when I leave, like when I got home, he was like, no one was home and he just came and sat on my lap and just like looking at me.
Yeah.
And I was like, I love you so much. And I was like, told you I'll come back and I'm going to be gone for a bit more, but I'll come back again. And I just like speak to him, just like peace of mind. Hopefully he understands what I'm saying and like he's going to be okay. But it's so hard. Like he's like my safe space. Like I was saying to, I think it was Erin or I can't remember. I was saying how like when I got Ziggy, like everything calmed down, like my nervous system, my skin, like whether it's correlated or not, I think it is. It's just been like from that point. And now like to leave him, I'm just like,
It's just comfort as well.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
So hopefully I can get him down to Melbourne for a little bit throughout the year. Just like when my mum comes down, she can drive him down and stuff. But yeah, I think once Jackson starts footy, like this, I think I did week and they came back and then I did 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And towards the end of the 2 weeks, I was like, fuck this. I just want to cuddle my boyfriend. Like I'm just over it. And now I think I'm going to have 3 weeks.
At least it's been like you're increasing.
Yeah.
You're getting used to it.
But I think I could be back next week if that shoot is here. The goal. Yeah, I think it's
we're
here.
not flying. FODBODS is an Aussie company founded by Vanessa. She spent years suffering from gut issues, feeling like everything she ate made her bloated. There was a lot of anxiety around food. She wanted to create healthy snacks from 100% natural ingredients that not only taste amazing, but are completely gut friendly.
FODBODS are 100% natural, plant-based, gluten-free, and their protein bars are the only Monash certified low FODMAP ones in the world.
Their products are dietitian formulated and have amazing macros packed with protein, fiber, and healthy fats to keep you full for long.
The best part is that FODBOD tastes incredible like real food. Many people say, I don't normally like protein bars, but FODBODs are different.
You guys know how busy Tori and I have been lately, and Papa Macros have been a time saver. They are a meal prep company that delivers ready-to-go meals straight to your door.
One thing that we love most is their clean ingredients, not using any seed oils or preservatives, which can be common amongst ready-to-go meals. The macros are incredible and they have over 70 meals on the menu with different categories to fit your current goals.
Lucky for you, we have partnered with Papa Macros, so if you're struggling with meal prep, poor on time, or just wanting to switch it up, they are the perfect addition to your weekly plan. Just use code RAWREALITY for a discount on your next order. And you'll never get tired of eating the same meals as they update their menu every month, so the variety is never ending. We hope you enjoy.
No, I think it's here because the third model's here as well.
That helps so much because
Yeah.
I'm meant to be going to Sunny Coast then.
Yeah, because Kate's comp.
Thank God I don't feel like flying.
Yeah, I know. So I've emailed to confirm, but I'm pretty sure it's Gold Coast, which is great for me so I can see Jackson Ziggy, even though it'll probably be a day trip or a night, Thursday night, because I have to be back for training Saturday, which would have been so good because it's his first game of the season. But anyway, it's fine. I have
Wow,
competition.
that's made me really happy. I don't know why, but flying just put me off because I know last time it fucked my stomach and I was just like, I don't want to do that again. And like, obviously shooting right now, like I'm still confident in myself until it comes to like certain things I don't have control of.
Yeah.
Like doing a photo shoot, I'm just like, and you watch me not get any for the rest of the year. Like it's going to be what it is. But
Why?
it just will happen. It will just because.
Because you're skinny.
Yeah. Like I'm saying that like, of course I have like 10 shoots in my off season. And then as soon as prep starts, I'll most likely not have any.
No, you will.
Yeah. Anyways. So I just have to navigate that.
Yeah. So I'm just like, I'll probably try and come back for Easter and like, I'm just trying to work it out. But I'm like, fuck, like I don't think I can go longer than 2 weeks without seeing Jackson. So at least once footy starts, it's going to be a lot better.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's my updates.
I just have one more update. I have a prep starting date.
Yes.
Which is literally like so close. When like 3 weeks, 2.5, 3.
3, I think.
Wow. I start prep the 7th of April, which is so soon and actually a lot sooner than I thought. I thought I was going to be the end of April. But the reason being is I thought it was going to be like a 20-week prep, which is what I normally do. But it's going to be a 24-week prep because in comparison from states to nationals last year, nationals I was like conditioned and ready, but states I was like even though I won states and second at nationals in my like not in open class, my other classes, it was more so just like the competition is getting stronger and stronger. So I need to be almost like national stage ready, and that took 24 weeks. So I'm like, that's why we've extended now, and this time Gold Coast and nationals are a week back to back. So I don't actually have time in between to get better condition, especially after having like peak week carbs. So it's a 24-week prep. My birthday is actually the 13th of April, which is like literally that week I start prep, and I'll most likely have like dinner out. And I've always been so against that idea of being like, no, if you're on prep, you cannot miss a single beat. And like, at the end of the day, like obviously the more variables you can control, the better. But it's more so just like the first few weeks are not really like prep. It's like you don't miss a single beat, yes, but you can still like.
It's like you're easing into it, and then that 20-week
it's
mark,
literally like you
bang.
kind of go to maintenance essentially, and then you like go into that deficit. So I still have that wiggle room, and then like literally from there, I will not miss a beat. And then I locked in Japan show, which is like so scary but so exciting. The reason why I was playing up with it so much is it's 8 weeks after nationals, which is pretty much like half another prep. Like when you think about it. So it's a long time. And I remember last year I was so done. I had the potential to do like an NBA show.
But I think you like knew, like you know that Japan is 8 weeks after. So you won't let yourself be done. Like and last time you were like, nationals, I'm done.
Yeah. And it was also, the show was NBA and I could have done the week after, and I could not care less. Like they're like, you can get your NBA pro card. And I was like, I literally do not want it. Like it's not a goal of mine, whereas this is a goal of mine to compete overseas. So I think it's so different. So I'm so excited for that. It's a Japan Amateur Olympia show, which apparently is like the most incredible one. Like in comparison to like all the other shows, Japan just does them so well, and they have a really high level of respect for the athletes. I was considering doing the Vegas one because it's like 2 weeks after nationals, which is like the week of Olympia. However, I think there's literally like 200 bikini girls. Like it's crazy. You don't do individual, and it's just like a wild time. And I went last year, so I'm like, let's change it up. My family's going to come as well, and we're going to go to Disneyland the week after. And I'm like,
is it
so fun.
November? Hey,
yeah, November the 22nd and 23rd.
I actually might be able to come, so that's a slay. Even if I just come to Japan for a week, that would be cool. Me and Jackson, because we'll be done footy.
Exactly,
and
true.
like we don't get to do our America trip.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm planning Japan in November.
Okay, slay. Yeah.
I'm going to message Jackson.
So I'm very excited for that. But yeah, literally a few more weeks and we're on. Crazy. That's our current updates up until Monday.
Yes. So you're literally completely up to date.
Yeah. First and foremost, do you still feel like you're swaying?
Did you just feel that?
Yeah.
I just felt that too. I was just like, whoa.
No, I have not stopped swaying.
Yeah, I did feel it last night. I was like, oh, I don't and it just gives you that nauseous like feeling.
I feel constantly like almost like delusion tired.
Yeah.
Because I'm like swaying. Like when you're on a cruise ship, there's like kind of like a constant sway, but you don't really notice, but then you all of a sudden catch yourself.
Yeah, you like won't notice it, and there'll be at dinner and it'll be like a massive sway and you're like, oh yeah, we're literally on the cruise ship in the middle of the ocean.
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh, yep.
And I got off and I am still swaying.
And some days were like worse than others or nights.
Coming home was worse.
There's just, the moments where you're like, oh my God.
Yeah,
I'm still on that cruise.
Swaying. It literally feels like I've lost balance.
Yeah. But speaking of, we went on a cruise.
We did, and we did not, especially myself, did not think this cruise was happening. Like when I tell you I was not prepared, I like fully convinced myself it wasn't happening. So on the Sunday when they said it was going ahead, I was like, I literally have nothing prepared.
Yeah, we were not prepared at all. It was probably like, we had no brows done. We had it was just like crazy, but like we were just like, let's go have fun.
Yeah.
And that we absolutely did. So basically it was a brand trip with our management for their 5th birthday in collaboration with Royal Caribbean, which was literally wild. And it was so cool to go on a cruise ship that I've heard so much about through like my students competing dancing on the cruise ships.
Yeah.
So that was really, really cool to like experience and see what they get to experience. We went on Quantum of the Seas and it was 4 nights, 5 days. Basically, you go out to Airlie Beach. We stopped out at Whitehaven Beach and then you come back to Brisbane.
Yeah.
So really, really cool. We like, I don't know if you guys have probably maybe seen on the vlogs or past podcasts, but like Taylor, one of our best friends, constantly like wants us to go on cruises, and like we've all been against it, especially Riley.
Yeah, she still to this day will never go on a cruise.
Against it. But it's the whole, so Taylor like loves to be able to get on a cruise, unpack, and then just like see spots and like get off the boat, get back on. Whereas we all love like the travel, the flying, the chaos of that. Like that's our fun.
Taylor hates that.
And Taylor hates that. So it's like finding the happy medium where we can all go on a holiday. But yeah, after this cruise, Lily and I were like, yeah, like we could do 100% do a girls trip.
Yeah.
The way I look at it is like the cruise is the holiday.
Yes.
So I would happily do another cruise like we just did where it's like you're going on the boat, you're at sea 3 days, you get off one day and go to a really nice beach. But the rest of the time you're on the cruise, there's thousands of activities for you to do. I wouldn't necessarily do a cruise around Europe where it's like you get off. Like I want to be staying in a hotel, exploring the streets, being out at night,
in the
not
culture.
not having to make it back on the boat, like all that sort of stuff. So I would happily do another one as the holiday itself.
Yeah.
So we were like videoing the girls and like talking about it, and we always make fun of like having to wear your lanyards and like being back on the cruise, and like I was just rocking the lanyard the whole time.
Out
like,
of everyone, I should have locked the
yeah, I
locked the
don't know
lanyard.
why you didn't.
Well,
it was even just putting the lanyard in your bag. You'd always take the card out. I'm like, the amount of times, where's my card? Where's my sea pass? I don't know where my sea pass is. I'm like, oh my God. Did you see?
I didn't lose it though.
Brooke Rogers, she put on a Snapchat of like what she packed on the cruise. She packs these like magnet hooks. So she would put it on the wall and near the door and it would hook her sea pass on it every single time. I was like, that is so smart.
Watch me still never use that.
No,
like,
but
I would have it, but I would not use it.
You'd probably only use it on a cruise, but like
Yeah.
she's like, you can just like hang different things on it. I was like, so smart.
So smart.
But yeah, like our room was like organized chaos as like what's new.
I don't think it was organised at the end.
Mine, no, not the last day. But
No.
mine was like, I knew where my stuff was.
Yeah, it was just chaotic. And
Yeah.
then you see other girl stories and I was like, where do you put your bags? I was like, what the heck?
Yeah, there's no room for suitcases.
I think
They're
the
just on
problem
floor.
was we were too comfortable with each other already.
Yeah.
So it's like, we didn't really care. But if I was with someone else, I feel like I would keep it like,
Yeah,
this
probably.
is mine, this is yours. And I'm like, your stuff is in my bag.
Yeah. What's mine is yours.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was so fun. So we had
4 nights.
Yeah, 4 nights, but like we got on late Monday Arvo because Cyclone Alfred pushed us back a little. So then we had a sea day Tuesday,
Airlie Beach on Wednesday.
Ely Beach Wednesday, and then sea day Thursday.
We were with 42 other influencers.
Yeah.
Now, let me tell you, I think it's a lot when like just Tori and I are taking a photo of like one particular thing. Imagine 42 girls trying to take a photo of one thing. It is comical to watch, but
Yeah.
also like the best. Like I felt so comfortable
And you
everywhere.
never feel like you're a burden being like,
No.
can I get a photo? Can we do this? Like
I
no
know.
one cares. Everyone is there for you to get your best content.
Yeah.
And like everyone gets it. So it's not like, oh, I need another photo. Like
Yeah.
I'm trying to eat my dinner. Like no one cares.
Yeah, the amount of like flash photography we had, the cruise, like the captain probably thought, is there like lightning happening like on our
Literally.
balconies? But equally, like when we're at dinner, we would use like flash to video ourselves eating and
Or
like
we'd have literal selfie lights.
Oh, the selfie
and
lights.
everyone whips them out. And like even when we had that dining experience, like there was like four other couples.
Yeah.
Old
couples
they like loved it. Yeah, they were in the like 50s, 60s.
Yeah.
And they were like, tell us how to make a selfie with this light. And like, it was so
it's one of those
fun.
things where either love it or hate it.
And it was just like, yes, there's 42 influencers on the boat. Like, we're just embracing it. And like, I just didn't care. I was like, I'm here to, this is work. Like, I'm here to work for Royal. So
at the
I'm
end of
going
the
to
day,
do what I can do.
They all would love to be in the position that we were in.
Oh,
so it's like they
100%.
also know, and just like watching little kids like watch us too, I thought was like really cool.
It was really cool.
To see. Now, there were times, I'm going to say probably the first half of the trip, I felt a lot more overwhelmed than the second. Like the second, I kind of got my groove. Even though I was probably grumpy on the second, that was just because I was extremely exhausted. But the first half, I was like, oh my God, like what content do I get? What photos do I take? Like, because you're with such a wide group of people, there's like fashion influencers, there's beauty influencers, there's fitness, there's food. So there's such a
Foodies,
wide range, and you're like, what do I actually want to do? So it's like coming back to not trying to copy other people, because it's like, I don't need a 50 million fits in like, photos in one fit. It's like when we went to Whitehaven Beach, there was a few girls that bought different like outfits and bikinis to get different content. I'm like, oh, I don't actually need that. Like,
Yeah.
I need one set of photos and one dump, and that's all
Because
I'm
that's
going
like
to use.
some people's content,
Yeah.
whereas we're just like, oh, we'd post a dump of the day.
Yes, whereas
Yeah.
I went to the gym and I filmed my whole workout, and
Yeah.
they wouldn't have done that.
Yeah.
So it's also just like that trip really taught me to just like be in like my
That's
kind of zone of genius.
How I felt in Thailand, like that first day.
Yes.
I just remember so vividly. Everyone came out. We had the first morning free in Thailand, and everyone had 10 different outfits. So then I felt like I had to, and then I was stressing. And our deliverables then were a lot more strict. But I like had this full meltdown, and then I went to Erin. I was like, I just need to put a workout fit on and go up on the rooftop and like do a workout and film that. And I did, and I was like, okay, now I feel better.
Yes.
And so for the cruise, I was just like, I'm just going to film exactly what I'm doing, and I'll figure out my content
Yeah.
later, because that's like how we work. Like we're always just like very in the moment. Like we were basically 0.5ing the entire trip because then we knew we could make content from that.
And that's what everyone was like, what are you filming? Like what deliverables are you doing? Because we had specific things to hit. And I was like, I don't know. But I'm like, as the week went on, I was like, oh yeah, I film my morning routine. Like I think that's the thing with us as well. It's being so organic and not forcing anything. Because I tried to what I eat in a day and I was like, hate it, not finishing it. Like and just leaving it at that. Like,
did you edit it?
No, because I forgot the dinner.
Did dinner.
Yeah. So late. But yeah, I think it just really taught me that I actually know what content I like and don't force anything and try to be something that you're not, because it comes across way less authentic.
And it's like every night we had like a formal dinner, a tropical dinner, or a like fancy dinner, or the Vive birthday dinner. So it was so fun to like dress up because like we never do that. So like getting those like sunset balcony photos or walking around the ship and just getting creative photos was fun. And like we don't do that often. So that was fun. And then it was like just enjoying everything that we were doing because like on the cruise there is that many activities. Like we had silent disco, dodgem cars, rock climbing, cupcake making,
flow rider,
there's salsa dancing, flow rider, there's
acts,
like so many things you can do on a cruise. Hence why like I feel like that is the holiday. And I did initially think it was going to be a little bit more relaxing than it was.
No, guys, it was not relaxing.
No, it was a full-on work trip.
Think about running. Like,
it's like we had to get up early to make it to the gym, to then go straight to breakfast, to then be ready by cupcake making by 9. And then
sounds so dramatic, but
I know, but it's like when you're on a tight schedule, but also have to fit in, obviously, our general routine because we're still training and we have to work out. But then also like making sure we get breakfast before the first appointment or like booking.
Because like we have to eat. Like, but the thing was, it was like running in between locations. So like we got finished at breakfast. I'm like, we have to be at cupcake making in 10 minutes, but want to change our fit to film. So we sprinted across the ship and that's what we did constantly.
The ship is so big. Like so big. There was not a day where we didn't hit steps because you either get lost or it's you're going from one end of the ship to the other. And by the 4th day, I was like, I know where I'm going.
I think I knew, but I still couldn't get to the drink spot alone. Like I had no idea where vintage was.
I actually wasn't like, by the 2nd day, I was kind of like, oh, I actually know where things are.
I literally had no idea. No idea.
Like I knew the front and the back straight away and I knew where to go to get to our room or like.
I think the problem is, and this happens when I drive a lot, is if I have maps on or if I'm following someone, I will not take in surroundings. And because Katie's been on that exact trip.
Yeah, she was just leaving.
I was just following and not taking in anything. Yeah. So that was probably my issue.
Yeah.
So I will explain the windjammer.
Oh, the windjammer, yeah.
And the washy. And the morning. So these staff on the Royal Caribbean.
Oh, I've never experienced this.
Never experienced anything like that before. So when you go into the buffet, which is called the Windjammer, I've never seen so much food in my whole entire life either. And
it's insane.
When you walk in there, you have to wash your hands. And so you got to go to the right and they're like, good morning, washy.
And they literally have like a banner that says washy on it. It's so funny.
And that is their job, to stand there and tell you to wash your hands. And I've never seen someone so happy to do so for hours on end every single day. And I'm like, where's your motivation?
And it's just like every single staff. Like before we got on the ship, the guy who was like taking us on, like our tour guide basically, he was like, no, like every staff loves their job and they like are there to make it the best experience ever. And we were like, yeah, cool. And then you get on and you're like, no matter what they're doing, whether it's they're moving something from one end of the ship to the other or they're like, they have a different role, everyone is there to make you literally live your best life. And it's like, it was wild. Like it was just like, it had never felt like it was forced or faking. Like it was genuine. Like
they loved
so
it.
Happy to be there. They just want to make sure you're having the best time. And they just like look after you so well, no matter if you're like obviously there, like we were there for work, but like even if you're just a family, like it's the same thing.
For example, there was one night where we went to something called Chef's Table. I keep calling it open
It's like
table.
a 3-hour exclusive dining experience.
And we, like, to be honest, like we didn't really feel like going. Like it was after the beach day, we were exhausted. They said 3 hours, fancy dinner. We had a look, it was 8 courses, seafood. We're like, I just want bulk food at the buffet. Anyways, we go. And we were like walking in there. The second we walk in, the waiter was the best waiter I've ever had in my life. Dr. Pepper was his name. Home. Same. He is the funniest, like most outgoing, charismatic. I was like, something is wrong. Guy ever. And every time he said like, I'll be back. You had to say, I love you. And it was just so funny.
And it was 6 of us girls, like our little group. And then there was, 4 couples, again, from like 50 to 60. And like a lot of them had like already been on cruises. And then he made us go around the table and say like our name, where we're from, and like what we're most proud of. And it was just so sweet. Like we're all going, like it just got real deep and like talking about our career. And then like we were like getting marriage advice from these couples and like they had 4 kids and like, oh, it was just so cool. And he just made it feel like so fun. And then it was 6 courses. And then with every course, you got a new glass of wine, which we all hated because we don't drink.
A sip of wine each.
Yeah, I felt so bad because it's like expensive wine, fancy wine.
I know.
And then there was also 3 courses of seafood, which I also really, really hate.
Yeah.
The kingfish, I absolutely hated.
No, it was scallops. I love kingfish. It was scallops.
No, the first one was kingfish.
No, it wasn't. It was scallops.
Hated that.
Scallops.
Yeah. And then what was the second one? That was
lobster.
And I actually ate mine.
I ate half until I freaked myself out.
Yeah, but it was. I can't think about it right now.
Can I yuck?
But then the steak was unreal.
The dessert.
Okay, guys. Okay. So I'm like, you guys know, like I've had really bad troubles with like gluten and dairy, but like I've healed so much. I can eat gluten and dairy now. I choose not to eat dairy because I genuinely don't like it. I hate like excess amounts of cheese and cream. Like it's disgusting. If it's like blended in something, like I'm so fine. But like I knew there was a few things that were like was like bulk cheese, so like I just got it without. But then dessert came out, and I'm like selective dairy free. So dessert comes out, and I'm looking around the table, and everyone gets these like big chocolate ball that you pour more chocolate on, and it like melts, and then it's like ice cream, and it was crazy. And then he puts mine down in front of me, and I was like, oh my god, like slay. And then he was like, oh wait, like you're dairy free, and I was like, oh, but like, can I just have like a little bit? Like, I just want to try like a little bit. But then he comes out with my dairy-free dessert and puts it next to me. And I was like, the chef is probably thinking this bitch just made me cook 6 courses with no dairy, but we'll eat the most dairy thing on the menu. Chocolate, ice cream, fucking extra chocolate.
I've never laughed so hard. It was just so funny.
I was literally eating and I said it and everyone started pissing themselves. And I literally ate half of both desserts because they were both so good. But I was just like, oops, sorry, YOLO.
It was so funny.
But most incredible experience. And yeah, just so like flow rider was so fun. Yeah. And like even the girls like instructing flow rider, like we're having the time of their life. Literally. It was so fun.
It's just like about really surrendering that whole trip and like leaning into cruise life. Yeah. Like it was just honestly the best week ever. Like as much it was overwhelming, it was like the best. And I had so much fun.
What was your highlight?
Oh, I think the chef's table. As well as I really liked the cupcake. I think that was just fun.
I think my highlight was silent disco.
Yeah, that was fun.
I had so much fun.
I just felt sick.
And then, you went well. And then the chef's table was so good.
The funniest thing with silent disco though is when you take your headphones off.
Oh,
I think that was iconic.
I showed Jackson that last night. Yeah. I was like, this is hilarious.
Yeah, it's so good.
But such an incredible experience. Would highly, highly, highly recommend. Whether it's like a couple or a family, like we want to do like a couples trip and do a cruise.
Well, that was my thing, what I said to my family as well. Like, I've actually said to like Maddie, our management and everything. And I was just like, do you really think they're going to get a return in this? Because they told us like how much it costs. And I was like, what the fuck? And I was like, do you think? And she was like, absolutely. She was like, the amount of like reach that everyone has, but equally everyone I've spoken to has been like, I actually want to go on a cruise now. Morgan was like, I've never thought of going on and now I want to go on. My whole family was so against it. And they're like, I want to go on one now. And I think it's also because the demographic is normally targeted at family and old people. Now we're kind of like bringing almost like a new demographic in is like younger people. So it's like when you see other younger people on a trip, it's like, oh, okay, like maybe it is for us. So I really think they've done such a good job at also promoting it in a way using us.
Yeah. And it just went little things when we got off because you use your C-Pass for everything. Like you're getting a drink, C-Pass, getting food, C-Pass. So you don't like generally when you get a cruise, you book like a package. And obviously like we were there for them. So we got off the cruise and the head guy was
the sales director
sent us a video in our group chat and was like trying to tap his C-Pass at a cafe. And he's like, it's not working. I have to pay for my coffee. So funny. But so much fun. So much fun. But back to reality.
Yeah.
Literally was like, free weekend, can't wait. Jokes, we've got like 3 podcasts and now I have an event on Sunday and I'm like, straight from the event, straight to the airport. So that's really good.
Sick. Yeah. Well, we both have vlogs coming up.
Yeah, go watch them.
Very soon with all of them. So you can also see the visual. You got all the rundown from behind the scenes and you get to see the visual soon. So we hope you guys love those vlogs. as well as loved our podcast episode, and you're all caught up to date now.
All up to date.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's it.
That's it from us.
All right. We love you so much, and thank you for listening for another week, and we'll be back in your ears next week.
Bye.
Bye.